To my channel. Today I have a model. She came with this original, not my work. Overall, it seemed that the nails look quite good, but there is an polygel. Even the client herself, who has nothing to do with nails, says that the nails turned out a bit thick, and it took about 4 hours to do them because of the polygel reinforcement. I start by removing the old coating. Here I have a TVS with a green notch from KMIS. Lately, I've grown fond of carbide bits. In general, I used to work only with ceramic, and at one point I tried carbide but I bought it just to try it out and realized it wasn't for me. And now I really like it. It removes much faster than something like a corn bit. Of course, there are fans of both carbide and ceramic, but I switched from ceramic to carbide, and I'm even thinking of getting some with a black notch. I have a blue one of the same shape, Kaduam as now, but the green one is much faster, especially for nails, where a lot of material needs to be removed. I will make a square shape. My client, actually my model, is from Avito. I choose the shape, color and design. Initially, as you know, I just love making squares, so naturally when I saw that her original nails were square, I knew I would definitely make them square. Initially, a video was planned with wall building, but when she came to me, I realized that I could work with the polygel she already had, and I didn't need to remove all the material. I would just finish what the previous technician didn't. Overall, as I already mentioned, the nails were done quite well, except that, as it seemed to me, the technician doesn't really know the rules of architecture, and if you file the polygel a bit, file from the inside, and file the surface on top, then the nails would look much neater and quite thin, which would not lead to the lifting that was in the cuticle area, because they were there from an excess of material, as it seemed to me, judging by the nature of the lifting. I'm almost finished with the manicure here. I also used bits from KMIS Test Flame and Ball, and nippers from Silver Star with a working surface of 4 millimeters. I always leave links to my tools in the TG channel. The link is in the description under the video. I'm showing how our nails look. Here, as I remind you, there is still acry gel. I'm showing you the undersides. I specifically took a photo because I realized that the thickness is not quite well reflected in the video, but considering that we have already filed down a lot, I asked the client, did you want longer nails? She said, no, it feels like the technician tried to lengthen the nails, but overall it is what it is, especially the index fingers. There's still the hyponychium, so a bit of work is needed there. I degrease the nail plate and start the coating. Here I have a rubber base from MUR. I always apply the base to 4 nails at once and then use a separate brush to spread the base well over the nail plate. It's much faster this way. I tried working with the brush from the bottle, even on different bases. I don't like it. First, I can't control the sides well that way. And lately, after curing, I always remove the sticky layer. In general, I didn't used to do this before, but when I started working with color gels from BSG, I realized it's so much better, and then the material doesn't pull away from the cuticle, and overall, the coverage is flush with the cuticle, which is pleasing, quick, simple, and most importantly, hassle-free. I start performing the gel correction. The gel I have is from Maestro. I recently showed it in my vlogs, and that's where I unpacked it. So this was the first work on a client with this gel. I will naturally lift the index fingers because they droop quite a bit. And since I haven't removed the length yet, after applying the gel, I will remove it. And since I additionally lifted with the first layer, I will achieve a thickness that allows me to make the nails even, without them drooping and without excess material. Since I applied a separate drop to the edge and cured it, it's clear that expecting a beautiful smooth surface right now is not reasonable, because I will definitely have to file it anyway as I am lifting all of this. But I still try to make the surface as even as possible so that I have less filing to do, because to be honest, I don't particularly like filing. That is filing the shape, the underside, the sides, yes, but surface filing overall is not difficult for me, but I don't like the process itself. I don't know why. Probably every technician has some process they like the least. By the way, let me know in the comments what you don't like doing in manicures, in coatings, and in general in the work of a nail technician. Here I am doing all the nails in a milky color, removing the sticky layer, and also with a bit, I think it's a crystal bit, a purple tree, I remove the length and immediately file from the inside. Let's say I'm making a rough version of the underside. Why rough? Because I will later even it out with a file and usually go over the underside with a flame bit, where I need to reach the sides to make everything quite safe. And I like it better when I use a thin diamond bit. Of course, I had to file more on the index finger because it was packing, but overall, I cleaned the undersides for the client. In the end, we will cover them with top coat so they will last well, there will be no peeling, and overall, the undersides will look just as nice as the top. Because now, especially in the pre-New Year rush, many clients, including myself, really love eating mandarins. And the tangerine seed dish is stay in the undersides a lot, and if they are not covered, the client will always have yellow undersides. This happens year after year. They say it the same thing. I also block myself because without mandarins on New Year's Eve, I don't live at all, including in December and January, all the same. Well, in general, for those who have length, I try to cover the undersides for everyone. It looks much better and much cleaner. And also, in the summer, for those who have summer houses, I do the coating for everyone, including the inside. I'm thinking that maybe someday I should cover the inside with something reflective and transparent, so it sparkles a bit. When I finish the filing completely, I move on to the coating. Here I have gel polishes from the new collection by Tega Beauty. I chose one of them, as I showed you in the vlog last time or the time before, which shades I got, and I applied a shade from this collection on myself. I applied them in 2 layers. They are, of course, advertised as one coaters, but I applied them in 2 layers. I always try to buy some new glitter for the new year because clients mostly choose something like that. And today, for example, I already had my second New Year's manicure, and both clients chose fine glitter. One of them is from the same reflective series. On the ring finger, I decided to do a gradient, and on the middle and index fingers, we'll have a French manicure, while the thumb will also be simply solid pink. Here, I tried to create a smooth gradient. Before that, by the way, I covered the nails with, I forgot what it's called, a matte top coat from nail, so it would be convenient for me to apply the gel polish. I will do the gradient in 2 layers because the gel polish is quite transparent if stretched in a thin layer, and overall, no matter what anyone says, I still prefer when the glitter is applied in 2 layers. For me, the glitter looks deeper that way, and I like it much more. Now, I'm drawing a half wrench. On one side it will be white and on the other a pink reflective. My model didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't even tell her about it at the beginning of the work. But in the end, she told me that she really liked this manicure. And if all the nails were just completely pink, she said it would be quite boring. But here it turned out to be quite diverse. I think you've already seen this design on Pinterest. There were also stars or snowflakes, I don't remember, but I decided not to overload it because I wanted to create a design that I could easily replicate on clients. And my clients don't particularly like Santa Clauses, Christmas trees, snowflakes, and so on. Perhaps someone will, yes, but not the majority of clients. I covered the nails with top coat from the inside as well, using a separate brush. My top coat is glass from Murmur. I really like it. It has no sticky layer, maintains a good gloss, and you can easily buy it on Wildberries or Ozone. I'm showing you the final result. The work took me more than 2 hours with filming. But if I were doing it without filming, I would complete such work in 1.5 to 1 hour and 40 minutes. Showing